All right, hello students. It's been a while since we've done Cornell notes, so I'd like to just do a tutorial, or maybe for newer students, this is a chance for you to also get up to speed on this. So one of the things that we like to do with notes, especially for science, since we have a textbook, is we'd like to take Cornell notes. When you take Cornell notes, you are going to take whatever is in the textbook here, and we are going to write it in a way that's easy for us to remember and to gather. And so usually I would like us to focus on kind of the headers. Actually, you know what? Take a look at the right side. Let's start with drawing the layout of what this would look like. So if this was one full piece of paper, then you would draw a few lines to get this started. The first one is usually I leave about like 2 lines going down, but I would then draw a line horizontally for the title. This is going to be where the title is going to go. And at the bottom, I'll leave about anywhere between 3 to 5 lines. This will be for a summary section that we might have at the end. I don't always demand for this, so we might use it, we might not. And then we'll have kind of about a third of the way, so not really halfway, but a third of the way, I'll draw a line that is vertical like that. You might want to use a ruler just so it's neater than mine. But conceptually, this should be good enough for you to understand. So I have these 3 lines. So to get started, the title of this segment is going to be refraction. That is what the concept that we're going to cover first. So you could go ahead and write that down in the title section. Now, when we are writing the Cornell notes, we should have the left side as the key major points. And for me, when I'm reading through this book, we're actually going to start off our reading from this segment, by the way. So this section right here, from the refraction of light. And I like using these main headers as kind of what I write down for the key topics on the left here. So I'm actually going to write that down, refraction of light. And then I would go through this paragraph to then discuss or to then look at what I want to add. Now, the key thing here is for Cornell notes, you do want to write in bullet points. So it is meant to be as short and simple as possible. So we don't go for the long writing or anything like that, okay? I'm going to look through this and, okay, let's see. A ray of light shone through the side of a glass block, as shown in the figure. Ray passes straight through, but if the block is tilted. But if the block is tilted, the ray of light follows the path shown. And then this bending of the light ray is called refraction, and the angle that is refracted, that the refracted ray makes with the normal angle is called the angle of refraction. That looks like it's a key concept right there too. So let's write this down as bullet points. Now I'm gonna go back to my notes and I'm gonna start with maybe the first point. Okay, the ray passing straight through, I know that, I don't need to write that down. But what's interesting there is, okay, if the block is tilted, then the light follows the path shown. So I think in this case, I'll write that light, oops, typo, light can be tilted or bent. Okay, so that's kind of the key thing there, right? Because now we're going away from light just traveling in a straight line, but now it can be tilted or bent. Then for the second one, the bending is called refraction. So bending of light is refraction. Now, something I want to point out is whenever you see any keywords or words that you think you should remember, you should underline them. In this case, I will underline refraction, and mostly because this is a bolded word as well. So you see how it has that bold right here. It's just darker, different color. Now, the thing is, anytime you see these, you must underline them. If there are other words you like to underline, you are allowed to do that, but at least for the keywords that are already bolded, you must underline them. That way, when you're looking through your notes, you'll just remember what definitions we're learning or what keywords we're learning, right? So now you know that refraction is bending of light. That's simply what it is. The last part here is it does look like it talks about the angle that the refracted ray makes with the normal. So there is something called the normal. We're going to look into that in a bit. I'm curious. I don't know maybe I don't know what the normal is. So let's try this out. I'm just going to start by writing that angle between normal and refracted ray. Normal and refracted ray is the angle, or just angle, of incidence. Oh no, oops. Angle of refraction. All right, so it looks like this will be a keyword, and I'm going to underline that as well. It's optional, but I do like to underline certain phrases or words that I think are important. So now, I could take a look at this image here and just, try to understand that a little bit better. If you feel like an image might work in your favor, then you might want to kind of write that down. Or draw it out, So maybe in this case, I'm just going to do a quick sketch. The thing is, it talks about a normal that we haven't discussed yet, but it looks like a normal is this imaginary line between where the object that the light is hitting and the light itself. So I could see that, okay, now there's this ray of light. So maybe this is, and they call that the incident ray. So it looks like the incident ray is the original source of light. And it looks like when it passes through this prism, the prism kind of bends it, or like water surface, whatever that is, right? But it bends it. So that's what's happening with the light. Now, it's saying that the angle of refraction would be, so this is the refracted ray, and it would be this angle right here. So between the normal, right? Whatever this normal is. So maybe, hopefully, Mr. 2 will discuss this in class. That's what I would be thinking, or I could look it up myself. But there is this normal, which is this imaginary line that is kind of just vertical if the mirror or surface is horizontal. And then there's that refracted ray. Now, okay. So then what your task is now is to continue this on. Okay, you have 2 more sections that you need to cover. So for me, in my class, I don't expect you to read these segments right here. Okay, so any of the side boxes you don't have to read. Those are supportive material. So if you would like to have a better understanding, you can. But when we get started with new material, it's good to just know what the core stuff is first. That's at least what I think. So we're not going to read all that. But instead, oh, here we go. I'm going to go back to reading once we hit this section. So there's this one paragraph on the, like right below what we just did, and the paragraph below that. Now, I would say for this next segment, same thing. Look for some key concepts, key words, and then you could write the bullet points for the next section. It doesn't have a header, so I'm just going to keep it under the same thing. I'm assuming it's all under the refraction of light. And then when I move down, there is a new segment right here. So I'll leave some space for maybe like a couple more bullet points. And then right here, I'm going to add the new section, which is white light. And the prism. And then I'll add maybe just about, looks like I could add about 3 more bullet points here. So I'll do that. All right, so as you can see, this is how you do a basic of the Cornell notes. I would like you to complete this on your own. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, like you saying, oh, Mr. T, I don't know how to summarize this, or what to write, how to write the bullet points. You could ask. This one is still due in a bit, so you have some time to work on it. But good luck with that. And I would say just do your best with these Cornell notes. Write down the key information. Don't overload it with information. And that would be it for now.